This is the beginning of the wall. You can see that they have water running directly out to the beginning of it. This is water running because we just had rainfall. Here's the wall, water, water. We have some drains running. With wood. Wood is not allowed on walls per code. Here's the beginning of this wall. We just had rain today. This is damage, you can see. You see where it is beginning to bow out. You see that the metal caging is all rusted. This is drainage coming from the bottom that was installed when the build, and it is not working. You can see there's no water inside of there. There's no water coming out. The drain system is not working. You can see further where the metal caging is broke. And here you have total global stabilization failure. The homeowners in lot 70 did this because nobody would do anything to correct it. You can see there is dirt eroded. It is gone underneath this mesh. This is global stabilization failure, and wood is not allowed even on retaining walls. And this is an earth wall. This should be compacted dirt. The homeowners at lot 70 did this to try to prevent further failure, being that we could not get anybody from the HOA or the builders to do anything. This is global stabilization failure. You can see that all the dirt is eroded underneath here. It's gone. It is bowing out right here. The drain tube is not working. We just had a heavy rain. There is no water coming out of it. It's literally broke. The homeowners at lot 70 did this to prevent any further damage, because we couldn't get anybody from the HOA or the builders to take responsibility of the failing of this wall collapsing and eroding. And as you can see, this has failed. This is failed. This is considered global stabilization failure of this wall. You can see the caging. Again, another drain This is next to my property, the homeowner directly next to my property. You can see, again, absolutely no water. Drain systems are not working. And again, we have, look at that, erosion. It's bulging. This is not correct. This was done by the homeowner to prevent further erosion. This was not compacted. This was covered with mulch and dirt to help prevent the hole that's underneath it from getting worse due to the failure of the HOA and the builder of not doing anything. This here is a huge hole underneath all of this mulch and soil that's covering. This was not compacted correctly by a geoengineer technical. This is erosion hole underneath, in which I have a picture of, but it was covered to try to help prevent further erosion and further damage to this MSE wall by trying to cover it with something until we can get the HOA and the builder to take responsibility of this wall. And as you can see, this is my neighbor's house directly next to my property. It's bulging at the top. It is bulging. Let me count. Let me zoom out and count with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up. That area is bulging. Again, this is considered, on an MSE wall, this is considered global stabilization failure. The HOA hired somebody because we had court. This wall was covered with trees I had pictures of before. And they hired somebody to come and cut down all the trees off of this MSE earth wall. They left one tree, and the last storm that we had about a week or two ago has torn it down. As you can see here, you can see the bend. This is considered bulging per the engineers. Also, you can see erosion in the depth of the mesh. You can see here, there is erosion of the dirt. And again, we have global stabilization failure of how it is bulging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is directly my neighbor's house. We're approaching my property line. You can see where the wooden fence begins. My property line is actually another foot over from the wooden privacy fence because I don't have my wooden privacy fence directly on my property line. And again, you will see we have bulging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is bulging so bad that the metal caging has broken because of the pressure of the wall bulging out. Again, up here, you go past 4, 5, 6, more erosion, caging is lifted up. 7 is more bulging, you can see it's moving forward. 8, it's bulging, moving forward. Again, this is all global stabilization failure per the international building codes of an MSE wall. You can see water is coming right off the edge of the wall. Because why? D.R. Horton did not install stormwater drains and tie in French drains all around our properties, nor did they install our gutters into a stormwater drain as per the directions and recommendations from Vertical Earth, who built this. Water coming right off of it. Coming right off of it. And that right there is my property line. You can see that there is bulging 1, 2, 3, 4 from the top, from trees that the HOA has failed to maintain the wall, and with D.R. Horton not doing their job, what they were supposed to do with preventing water, directing water away from this earth wall, has caused collapse. It's causing issues. The wall has damage. Furthermore, you look below here, you can see the bulging, the wire. You can see erosion from the compacted dirt all on the bottom. You can see how it's bulging all out. Just looking at it, it's not straight. This is all bulging from pressure of water. Again, you can see complete damage from the HOA failure to maintain this earth berm, which allowed trees to grow out of it, has damaged the metal caging on the earth berm. They contributed to the failure along with D.R. Horton. Here is another drain coming out. Again, dry as a bone, nothing. The drain system is not working. Also, you can see erosion. This is global stabilization failure at the bottom of the wall. This again is my property. You can see it is bulging. There is erosion. There's gaps between the mesh and the dirt. Bulging. The ground is so soft by the wall right here. My foot is literally collapsing. but more damage. You can see the damage all behind my property. This is bulging, this is eroded, this is broken. This is directly behind my property. You can see all the metal caging is broke. You can see the bulging. What is it? All of this is bulging from moisture. So this is, you can see the gaps between it, how it's bulging. It's supposed to be flat like concrete blocks, but it's mesh dirt compacted, and the moisture is causing it to bulge, and you can see it's breaking the metal caging. And you can see that there's erosion up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 where the HOA did not do the preventive maintenance of making sure that trees were not growing out of the earth berm that we've complained about since 2019. It caused metal caging to break, as well as you can see further erosion of the dirt, compacted dirt in the mesh bags, which is considered global stabilization failure of this wall. Again, still behind my property, we have more caging broke and more erosion. You can see the erosion. It's completely gone from the compacted dirt in the mesh bags. This is a drain. It's not working. No water. It's bone dry. You can tell water hasn't came out of it in years. There again is the hole at the bottom part here. The ground is soft. Again, we have bulging. Bulging. It is bulging. Dirt coming out. Again, all up there, you can see it's all eroded. It's all eroded and damaged from where the HOA failed to maintain the wall. But D.R. Horton also failed to do the things needed prior to building on the lots as recommended by the builder of this MSC wall, Vertical Earth. Again, more metal caging broke. More severe bulging, erosion of this wall. One, you can see it is, let me see, I'm gonna zoom out here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still behind my property line. Erosion and buckling of the failure of this MSE wall, which is considered global stabilization failure. Still behind my property, because you can see the wooden fence.
privacy fence. That's my, and you can tell the huge trees that the HOA allowed to grow back here, that they just recently cut down a week prior to our first calendar call, which was supposed to be February the 18th. They came and hired somebody to come cut all these trees down to take pretty pictures for court, I'm sure. But then again, they should have never been here. They should have maintained it since we complained since 2019. You can see the bulging. Again, you can see how all the metal caging is coming up over and off of the wall, the earth compacted mesh bags, due to the erosion and the filling of the wall. It is pushing it forward. Along with all the trees that the HOA allowed to be grown here. You can see here too, I'm still behind my property line. Move some of this, the bulging. It is bulging, the bottom, the pressure. Again, we have erosion of the mesh bags. All of it's erosion. We just had a rain, so you can see how D.R. Horton never installed stormwater or any type of drains to prevent water from coming down this earth wall. Again, more. And there was a drain here, apparently, just like the other ones, but again, it is not working. It is totally broken and hidden. There are some rocks on it, but here we go again. We have it buckling. Look at it, buckling the base of it. Now we're leaving my property line and headed to my neighbor's property line. I'm gonna start another video for that. Now we've left my property line where the wooden fence is up. Now we're approaching 716 Islesworth lot. They are the ones that have provided an affidavit to the courts, as well as a engineering report on their home, where they're having major structural issues in which their engineer has stated is the cause of this earth, this MSE wall, in movement. You can see that they have bulging as well behind their wall. They also had trees growing out from behind. You see the metal caging, because of the bulging, it's all coming undone. It's all eroded away. It's bulging, so the caging is being pushed forward because of the pressure of the wall of movement due to all the moisture, due to D.R. Horton's failure to install stormwater drains as well as making sure all the water around our lots are moved away from this earth wall that is now in failure. You can see all the erosion. You can kind of see it there, that the mesh bags are very clearly seen. Not compacted with the dirt anymore. The top layer of all the dirt has been washed away. You can see at the base, it's all washed away. It is bulging. Another drain that's supposed to be working for this system. You can see no water's been coming out of it. This is how close their house is. You can see their house is not per the plans, what recommendation of vertical earth for the size of this wall of how far our houses should be away. It's not. You can see the land gets pretty flat on this side here versus the other side. It is not flat at all to walk on. You can see here again, erosion. I can only assume that this is another supposed to be drain, probably. Let's see. Was there a drain here? Because of how there's rocks, usually you see the rocks, they had to have a drain, probably. I don't see no drain. So maybe they're trying to drain here. Okay, no drain here. Okay, still on their property at 716 Islesworth. You can see that there is, again, failure of the wall where it is bulging. The metal caging is completely broke from the pressure of this bulging out. You can see how it's bulging out completely. Dirt is just gone. You can already see the crack in between the two layers. See the pressure that this is getting. And again, it is completely eroding and bulging. This is considered global stabilization failure. Again, families threw down some mulch and dirt to try to help stop some more of the erosion going on down here, because you can see the pressure of how it's all bending down. There's all this erosion of dirt is gone of the pressure of this wall. There's also a drain, a French drain that D.R. Horton installed for the property owners next to 716 for water, and you can see what they did. They have it coming completely straight off onto the wall, which again is against the rules per vertical earth you shouldn't do. You can see how this is collapsing. Oh my God, my foot just went. There's a hole. There's a big hole right here. The water's all eroded and sitting at the base. Now look at this. It is just gone. I don't know if this is supposed to be another drain or not, because whenever we see rocks, usually that's where a drain is coming out, but I don't see a black tube coming out now. But I do see this damage to this wall. It's all the base. Like, I'm sure if you move these leaves, you're gonna see, like I'm seeing, how it is buckling the bottom. I think we're moving towards lot 75 now. So I think I'm behind lot 75. I'll make another video. Now we're behind the final house where the wall begins to go down. This is towards the end of the other end of the wall for lot 75. You can see they also had trees growing out, so there's metal caging damage from the trees. You also have, again, bulging. It is bulging from erosion. And moisture from D.R. Horton's failure to do drains. Well, apparently there were drains, but maybe the people that the HOA hired to cut down the trees decided to just throw it out of the way and rip it out of the wall. I don't know. Allegedly, maybe that's what occurred, because that's what they did with all the trees. They threw all the trees that they cut off into the wetlands, into the 25-foot buffer that they shouldn't have done. Then we have another drain tube, which definitely is not far enough away from the bottom slope of this reinforced earth wall. You can see further damage of the earth caging. There's further damage, I don't know, because of the sun. Again, you can see erosion. Maybe the sun. There's more damage to the metal caging due to trees, of the failure of the HOA maintaining the maintenance of the wall. No, you don't want me. There is more, right? I got to see more issues. Right here. Okay, and then here is more. You can tell that it is beginning to collapse over here from the pressure of all the moisture. We have a lot of erosion, separation of the 2 levels separation. It is beginning to do with a lot of the other areas we have seen. Begin with the pressure of all the moisture on the wall. And again, this is going to be the other end of the wall, and you can see that there is damage to it. Metal caging is damaged, as well as mesh bags is deteriorating and ripping. You can definitely see all the erosion. The compacted dirt is not compacted, it's eroded away. This is the other end of the wall, where then again we have drain tubes that were installed with the build of it. You can see our bone dry. They are not working.